jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
Yeah, WCS back on the boulevard. You already know. First in the building. Shaw News the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. Damn, he's saying King James is on the pad, shaking my head. On deck, you already know, man. That's what he's saying. That's what Chael Sonnen is saying. Andrew Charles, what it do on deck, man. Salute to you, Andrew. Appreciate it. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. I appreciate everyone that's in the building. Man, this is a topic, right? I don't usually do. I don't really venture off. But since we're talking about athletes at a certain level of competition, I feel it's pertinent because I'm not really talking about LeBron James and all his accolades and all this. But the person who is coming from, I feel that he's a person that can speak on a situation like this because in his career, he was absolutely during that time. Okay, let's back up a little bit. In mixed martial arts, when they was coming up, it was without USADA. You know what I'm saying? USADA wasn't around for a period of time. So these fighters was definitely on the Tropicana. They was definitely on the Tropicana. And they was having cocktails with the Tropicana. They had the Casamigos, they had the freaking tequila, man, they had the Patron, they had the Henny. You know what I'm saying? They had the Paul Masson, Crown Royal. They had everything you can imagine. They was making the cocktails. Big shout out to the supporters. I see you. So when it comes down to Chael being out of the sport, let me give you a little background on Chael. Chael in his career with a mixed martial arts record of 31 victories, 17 defeats. He's currently 45 years of age. All right. He recently did an interview on Vlad. And this is not the first time Chael being outspoken about controversial topics. That's one thing I say about him. I actually like Chael, man, because he's a smart guy. Some of what he says and how he delivers it, he has a gift for gab. But I'm going to go on record and say this is not a gift for gab. I believe when he's talking on certain, because he in this interview he mentions Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned Lance Armstrong, right? He mentioned, the Barry Bonds. So he's mentioned all these high-profile athletes. Barry Bonds was black. Lance Armstrong, white. Tiger Woods, I get back to you. I can't say he was black. He didn't want to acknowledge it. But what he's doing is he's recognizing certain athletes but who he's mentioning, it kind of takes us, on the current grid right now. It kind of gives us a current grid of one of the biggest superstars right now competing. You know what I'm saying? This didn't come out when Tiger Woods was at the top. All right. Even though he has a lot of shit going on in his body right now that he's gonna forever have to take some type of medication. I'm serious. Back problems, had an accident and everything, right? And then Barry Bonds, we already know with him. They didn't catch him or something like that, but still they blackballed the shit out of him. He was never convicted of anything, none of that. Lance Armstrong, let's be honest with ourselves. How many humans do you know in your circle that can compete in the Tour de France and do what Lance Armstrong was doing? Furthermore, if Lance Armstrong was on some shit, that is some motherfucking powerful shit for him to be able to come back the way he did and win those Tour de France's, man. Every time I grew up off Lance, you know what I'm saying? I grew up off watching him do the Tour de France. I actually liked the event. But to have it all ripped away and you have no life, no history of what you dedicated your life to, oh man, it's just crazy. So it leads me to this, right? LeBron James, it's almost like the quiet controversy. Chael Sonnen has mentioned it, but it's almost like people saying, okay, Chael Sonnen is not really a reliable source because he himself is on PEDs, which is stupid. You know, it's like one of those builders that you see at the NPC that's juiced to the to the earlobes, right? They're trying to tell them that they can't speak on how bodybuilding works, how to transform your body, what to do to transform your body. Those dudes are huge, bro. So Chael Sonnen is no different. Chael Sonnen is educated in a lot of areas in life, not just PEDs, but he's educated on stuff in life. So you have to listen to him when he's talking, right? So Chael Sonnen said, he went public with some serious accusations about LeBron James. And let's take a listen. Okay, let's take a listen to what he had to say. All right. And shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more on deck. I see OG. Cape Man, what's good? He ain't hating. He's not hating, bro. He has no reason to hate. He has no reason to hate. Real talk. Why does he have to hate? He has no, really, when you talk about no stock in it, there's no way that he would sit up here and hate just to be doing it. Just take a listen to this real quick. Let me know if the audio is good.
LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player. You're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. So, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer that follows the big three. And the big three are growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer. But it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time. It doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters.
I just want to ask y'all a question. Can y'all hear the audio up to this point? Just put a Y and an N. Did y'all hear the audio up to that point that stopped it just now? Just put a Y in, yes or no. Appreciate it. Anybody? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no audio for a simple share screen on something like that. So I guess they don't want it to be shared on StreamYard, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to continue to do is just record the audio and put it out there that way, instead of sharing screen on something like this. But anyway, he was kind of talking about the big three. So the big three Chael Sonnen was talking about when it comes to performance enhancing drugs with EPO, growth hormone, and testosterone. Right? So he was pretty much saying that there are athletes out there that's taking this stuff. And I'm reading people comments in the chat, and it's okay. Not everybody's going to agree with Chael Sonnen is saying, and I'm not here to defend any of it. I'm just saying that should they take his accusations, should they take what he's saying seriously? Is it a possibility that he may be right? I don't know. I hope he's not right. But what will anybody in the NBA at this point in time even pursue it? Because LeBron is such a huge elite figure in the global stance, like in the global setting when it comes to NBA. Will they even pursue to try to figure out? Because I remember the Balco situation when that broke and all those people that went down and their careers was ruined. You know what I'm saying? I remember all those track stars. I remember the Russian team not being able to allow to compete because they banned them for performance enhancing drugs. It was just so many athletes that was going down for that. For this accusation to come out with Chael Sonnen is huge. Like, it's huge. So this one I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see if any type of legality comes out of this on what he said. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to pinpoint about is that he said they use the same plug. For somebody to say they use the same plug is pretty much risking it all. Now it brings more awareness, attention, and all that to Chael Sonnen. And if somebody else, that's on the Fed level, if anybody want to start paying attention, they can. But I'm going to tell you like this, Pez is not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's so many people in life that use Pez, especially when they get older. They use it for many different reasons, especially when athletes get past their prime and they still want to perform at a high level. They use it. You know what I'm saying? The only time I seen people, big time, that even get in trouble for Pez is the juice heads that's walking around here like claiming that they don't have nothing to do with it, and they be the ones that's selling it or buying it in bulk. You know what I'm saying? Like the Liver King recently. The Liver King went down. I haven't heard of that guy. I haven't seen him again. Dude, I have not heard of that guy since he's busted. He said he was eating liver and he wasn't doing shit. And when they busted him with that shit, man, his whole gig was up. So when it comes to LeBron, I'm hoping that LeBron isn't that. I hope that it doesn't filtrate through any of his seeds. I hope that Chael Sonnen is absolutely wrong on this, because the only thing LeBron has to do, you're talking about somebody who has a lifetime freaking contract, someone who's paid for the rest of his life. He can get an attorney. He can get this figured out. He can get people to reach out to Chael and say, what do you mean by those accusations? I mean, it's not anything that's extremely difficult. It's not a classroom assignment. You know what I'm saying? He said they use the same plug. Chael Sonnen is saying LeBron James is on Peds, y'all. He's saying LeBron James is on Ped. That's what Chael Sonnen is saying. They got the same plug, shawty. Sparta said he know who's shopping with the plug for show. Man, peace, and then why say anything? Just like everybody else had a freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can tune in to YouTube all day, every day, and you hear people say some shit that make you say, damn, why did they say that? Why they even mention that? Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't juice up to get the Mega Millions? Listen, it's different sports. It's different. It's different types that you use for different sports. It's according to what your sport consists of. Now, I know they pay really, really close attention to individual sports. When a person like Lance Armstrong was competing the way he was, and that is an individual effort to a point. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end, you cross the finish line, you get the goal. I mean, you get the achieving standard of winning the Tour de France. As in team effort, you rarely hear of team efforts like in basketball just getting suspended for pad use. But you turn around for track. Let's say one member of the track team in the 4x100 relay tests positive for performance enhancing, substance abuse. They're in violation of the USA Track and Field Association, the rules. If they won a medal at one point in time, doing while that person, I don't know what the date range of that, but they will take the medal off the entire team. The entire team, yo. They don't freaking play. The entire team, they will remove the medal. That's how they do in track and field. They don't play. I'm not even holding you on that, bro. They don't play when it comes to positive tests. They strip the whole team. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is crazy. And then in football, I don't think you rarely hear of football players being suspended for paid use. You know what I'm saying? In football, you don't hear. I mean, come on. You think those guys going out there playing all those games, taking all that punishment, and they just up here taking amino acids? Hell to the no. You know what I'm saying? Hell to the no. I'm going to go on record and say hell no. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the case, bro. I'm just being honest. So when Chael want to get up here and ruffle feathers, Yeah, people gonna get feel some type of way about it. But guess what? This is not gonna be the last time we hear about certain people testing positive. You know what I'm saying? Or potentially being on them pads to perform at the highest level and then some. This is not the last time. Real talk. Y'all remember, John Drummond, that was part of the track team. Marion Jones, I remember watching her win the 100 meters and shit. I was like, God damn, she fast as hell. Well, she was part of the Balco situation. She never ran again. Career over. Never ran again. They pretty much ostracized her. They don't even mention her. Her whole entire freaking career was erased like it never happened. But if you go on Google and look up all these athletes that was in track and field, you would see a hellacious amount of them, bro. Hellacious amount of freaking track and field athletes that was that popped. So let's see what comes out of this. Let's see if LeBron James gets his attorneys, which are already looking into it, because those are serious accusations. But guess what? I don't hear anything in the NBA that's even thinking about speaking on it. I don't hear anything. Like, for instance, mixed martial arts, right? Back in the day when a fighter test came back dirty, they would release it to the public. So-and-so tested positive for this. That would lead to change as it went along, because USADA found out that some of the testing that they was doing wasn't absolutely accurate when it comes down to if this fighter tested positive knowingly, willingly. Some of these fighters were getting sponsorship about supplements they didn't too much know about, and they had some type of substance and ingredient into that supplement that will cause them to test dirty. So instead of just putting these fighters out here for a generic type of violation of a substance that's on the ban list, and there's a crazy ban list that's out there, the shit came back positive, they start to kind of revamp it a little bit. They say, okay, let's do a little bit more research and see exactly the process on what this fighter was taking. If they have their supplements, which more than 9 times out of 10 they do, let's take some and let's test it. Then they had to just revise it. They said, okay, maybe we're going to stop announcing that these fighters are testing positive, and we're going to do a little bit extra. Now, if you come back for EPO, if you come back for tests, like TJ Dillashaw came back for EPO, like it's plenty of fighters. Like back in the day, they had a TRT era. Well, a lot of fighters was taking TRT. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where the UFC banned TRT. When they started testing, USADA came in, TRT was banned. And you saw the physiques of a lot of fighters start to look different because they could no longer take that shit. Now, in Japan, I don't know what they're doing in Japan. I know when I was over there, it was a lot of fighters looking like shit off the Marvel comic. But in the U.S., since then to now, they have cleaned up that shit a lot. They've cleaned up a lot. And you see fighters that used to look a certain way, all bulked up. You barely see, and this is no shot at any of these guys, but you rarely see fighters looking like Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see motherfuckers shredded like that in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see fighters with the physique with a Kamaru Usman. I'm talking about just shredded, cut. You rarely saw fighters like a TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw used to come in that motherfucker super shredded, like you can almost see his heart beating. And that dude, had that stamina, and he was winning titles. But guess what? When he was knocked out by Henry Cejudo, moving down to flyweight division, right? He was knocked out and he tested positive. They didn't strip every title he had before that. When John Jones, he was testing positive. They didn't strip him of every title that he won before that. See, that's where it goes a little bit wrong. Like some point in their career, they might have had an injury. In order to continue to compete at a high level, to make that money and get sponsorship, they had to do something. It depending on what sport you playing, in my opinion, that they make a big deal out of it. I'm just being honest, bro. I'm being honest. Because not everybody makes a big deal out of this shit the way that certain sports do. Now, the NBA, I think they're very lenient when it comes down to it, but whatever, bro. You know, whatever. I'm curious to see if they speak on it. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, any of them, Shannon, Skip, any of them guys. I haven't heard anything too much about it. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, I'll tell anybody anytime, when it comes to the sport of boxing or combat sports in general, just because you on a substance don't mean that you're gonna win. Goddamn, being on pairs don't mean you're gonna fight better. You might feel better, but there's been people that test positive in the boxing ring and get knocked out. Oh, you not only got knocked out like TJ Dillashaw, but you tested positive and you were stripped of your title. And you suspended for 2 years. Come on, bro. You knocked out, lost a fight, lost your title, and suspended for 2 years. And your career tarnished. And you would jack your team over to go out there with Dwayne Lugwit without even telling them you was house hunting. So you know how Team Alpha Male was feeling. They was like, oh, that you get karma's a bitch, huh? I'm telling you, they hear me say that shit. Yep, he's right. Toby say Maria Sharapova got a 2-year ban for pass in tennis. You're right, Toby. Absolutely. And shout out to Maria Sharapova. Why? And you know, I remember the time when she was out there in tennis and they was just looking at her, oh man, she's just so perfect. She's playing at the top of her game. You know, especially when she was going against the Williams. Oh man, she's playing at the top of her game. She is what you consider the ideal standard for women's tennis, y'all. Look at her. Wow. She's gorgeous, she's talented, and she's a superstar. And she popped positive. She disappeared. Didn't too many people say shit? You right, Toby. She disappeared, yo. She was gone, shawty. I hope LeBron is clean. This would be a bad look on accomplishment looking at Barry Bonds. Man, this would be, look, like I say in track and field, they be stripping you on certain dates. They give you windows and win anything you ever won during that window. They strip that motherfucker. I don't know how in depth anybody was going to look at this on basketball. Has LeBron accomplished so much to the point where he may receive private phone calls about this situation, or just his legal team may communicate to try to figure out how they can numb this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? How can they silence this accusation? Because I don't see people turning on LeBron like people did with Barry Bonds. And this is what I mean by that. Barry Bonds was in a home run race at one time, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that was him that was in home run race with Mark McGwire, right? And Mark McGwire, I remember him getting so no. He was in a home run race with Sammy Sosa. Okay, you know I had to recall it. You know how you snap pop. So he was in a home run race with Sammy Sosa, right? And Mark McGwire had these huge ass forearms, and I was just sitting back there. I was saying to myself, something ain't right with this guy. You know, like he's really, you know, sending that ball, man. Like he's hitting home runs every time. And look, he broke the home run record. They gave him, check this out. They gave him a home going, you know, like a parade for him breaking the home run record. And that's when they was taking that, the shit that they banned? Damn. It was dealing with testosterone or something like that. So that shit was starting to come out. It was banned and people were starting to talk and stuff like that. But the crazy part about Mark McGuire was he was able to dip out behind the curtains and exit stage left out the back door before he was getting tested. He was able to do that. Sammy Sosa, on the other hand, he didn't get popped for Pez doing that home run race, but he did get popped, if I'm not mistaken, for having a cork back. Either way it's cheating, but when it comes down to Pez, Barry Bonds, right? He's still fighting and fighting and fighting. The man hasn't been convicted, but yet you have Mark McGuire, who legally they couldn't bring back to baseball to see if he was on Pez during the time he broke the record. And that was a huge home run record that he broke. And people were always saying that he was on motherfucking Pez and shit. And he got up out of there and he ended up being a batting coach for another team. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy, bro. I mean, it's shit that you can't get back. I don't know if they ever got a hold of Mark McGuire. Y'all might be able to, but I can't figure it out. Shout out to Jamal Neasy on deck. What's good, Neasy? Hey, just tuned in. I'm seeing King James and the word asterisk in the thumbnail. Don't get a dislike, sir. Hey, man. You know how thumbnails are. Thumbnails only tell a story. The story within the thumbnail doesn't mean it's fact. All it is a delivery. It's just a visual delivery to the audience there, Neasy. I'm not saying his career is an asterisk. I'm saying within history, they wanted to put an asterisk by certain athletes' career just because they pop positive. But see, they're not saying that about John Jones. See, that's where the audience differ. That's where the community differs. Neasy is coming here saying, well, I love LeBron James. That's my guy, this, and this. But then you hear Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is still going through it to this day and trying to get into the Hall of Fame, all off speculation that he was using pads. Mark McGuire, I don't think he's gotten a nod. I think he's going to be punished because of them not being able to test him. He dipped out the back door. Sammy Sosa, all these guys that was sitting there at one point in time, Rodriguez. Was it Rodriguez or Ramirez? You know, I mean, it was something dealing with him. I think he popped positive for pass in baseball. So I guess it's not that easy as just swinging a bat and hitting the ball. It's not as easy as running up and down the court, cutting and you know, dunking and all that and dribbling the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, John Jones has had all this shit happen and nobody's going to put an asterisk by his career. But in certain sports, they will put an asterisk. They will make it known that, hey, we believe so-and-so was doping. That's the word they used to use back in the day. It was harsh. It was abrasive, poignant. You know what I'm saying? It was every bit of the sauce and venom that you was looking for when they were saying doping. Oh, my God. Justin Gatlin suspended for doping. When somebody say you doping and you supposed to be an elite, a well-known star, it hurts, bro. So-and-so accused and suspended for 3 years for doping. Ugh, that shit hurt. Ouch. God damn it, give me the bottle. They just running my name through the mud. Give me the bottle. Put 2 cubes in there. Put 2 cubes in there. I need a drink. I mean, shit. Look what Justin Gatlin had to do when he was suspended and come back and he was still running with the big dogs. And they was testing his ass like a motherfucking racehorse, bro. They was testing him all over the place. I believe Tyson Gay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just been too much, man. What's going on, Christopher? Salute to you. The XO Factory on deck with it. What's good? What's good, OG? I'm on deck for the cook session, bro. Everybody, make sure you put pressure on that like button. Put pressure on it. You know what I'm saying? EXO in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. My brother, as always, salute to you. Neezy. You know, my guy, Shaw News. Showtime in the building, man. Team Tucker on deck April 1st. Once again, you know what I'm saying? He going there for his 10th professional fight. I look forward to seeing him contend at 154. So that's where I'm at with it. And I want to throw this guy in here too. All right. Let me throw another guy up in here I want to talk about. All right. So this guy right here, Anthony Joshua, that's a recent picture of him, you know, in the gym in Texas. Okay. Let's talk about the visual, not the visual that a lot of you cats, you know, on YTC that glorify Anthony Joshua, and you have life-size posters in your home every time you walk from work or go to work. You're like, oh, I'm striving to be like you, AJ. You take it easy now. I'll be back later. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole house to yourself, AJ. Hey, I love you, man. I want to be like you. I want to be like you. I'm going to get there someday. So you have AJ, right? And shout out to AJ. Shout out to the UK. 24 victories in, 3 defeats, and 22 knockouts. You know, the first time he lost against Andy Ruiz and twice against Alexander Usyk. AJ is currently 33 years of age and represent only the United Kingdom, and absent of his, you know, what he truly was born into. We're not going to get into that. He stands 6'6", with an 82-inch reach. 82 inches, bro. And he's set to fight Jermaine Franklin 21-1. Now, if you look at Anthony Joshua's picture, he's obviously toned down the muscle mass. The physique has downsized a bit. It's condensed. And one thing I always said about Joshua when I was talking about the back in the day with him and Wilder, you know, when they all had the belts, you know, it'll be good to see them fight for undisputed. One thing I always said, that he was just a overrated, bulked up little kid who was trying to live up to what they built him into. He was trying to live up to that huge standard of being this Adonis, bro, but yet this killer of a boxer. And he just never had it to me. Even when I seen him with Vladimir, I said, this dude is big. He don't have no cardio. He probably don't like to run. And he just had all that muscle mass, bro. I remember hearing when I was watching a fight, right? Hearing that they had agreed on a weight of 235. And I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. He had agreed for a fight at 235 pounds. He is when he was stepping in there against Carlos Takam. All right. So Anthony Joshua came in at a whopping 254 pounds. Carlos Takam came in at 235 and a half. They stopped the fight in the 10th round. Okay. They stopped the fight in the 10th round. All during this fight, Joshua wasn't doing anything impressive. He had all this bulk to him. And I say, damn, this dude is just like, you know, a bodybuilder, so to speak. He don't have any cardio. He don't have shit. And throughout his career, besides the ones that was paid off, you've seen that. You've seen it. I'm saying, you've seen it happen. He looks visibly smaller than any time I've seen him. Even the shape of his pectoralis, it seems like it's more so that he's been doing more cardio and less weightlifting, less bulking. His shoulders are not as defined as they usually, you know what I'm saying? I know he's working. He has a fight up, y'all. Okay, he's a heavyweight, first of all. But it doesn't, you don't see the cut, the chisel, six pack. He's on cardio work. They believe that Derrick James he has the serum. He has the method to the madness to get Anthony Joshua where he be. You believe that Derrick James has what it takes for Anthony Joshua to come in here and stun on Jermaine Franklin. When I say stun, I'm talking about having a performance that we've never seen him have before. Do you think Derrick James was it? Because right now, where we at in life, those of you that stay close to, fitness and stuff like that, just because you lose muscle doesn't mean that the person feels comfortable with losing muscle. Some people look in the mirror and they say, okay, my muscle pretty much represent who I am. My muscle pretty much certify that I'm big, I'm strong, and you know what I'm saying? And I've been with the people. I present an imposing figure to them. But in boxing, having a whole lot of muscle doesn't mean that power and that strength is going to reciprocate from round to round to round when you're getting punched. So that's where the problem has come into play with Anthony Joshua. The man has been in big fights and he's lost the gas. He had to come off the gas and take some rounds off. We just seen it happen in the Alexander Usyk fight, man. I remember I was on the phone with Showtime and he was giving me round for round because I was on the road coming back from a fight, and he just hit that wall again. Joshua hit the wall again, bro. He hit the wall again, and I was saying to myself, God damn, he hit the wall, bro. And he was in there with Garcia, right? Who was his last trainer? Was it Reynoso? Was it Eddie Reynoso or Robert Garcia? I think it was Robert Garcia. But I'm looking at his picture right now from the transformation and him being in Texas, finally coming to the U.S. to get some work and trying something different. You know what I'm saying? Trying to find a different dynamic to get his career dumping again. And he's been over here in Texas. He chose Derrick James. Derrick James currently has 2 unified champions. I don't know what brought him there. It's because, me and a lot of other people think there's other trainers out there that could have better benefited Anthony Joshua. But as you're looking at this picture, man, he looks like he done lost muscle. And he may be coming in there to, see how that feels. See how light he's on his feet. Especially if the fight go into the later rounds, because I don't see Anthony Joshua going in there, just starching Jermaine Franklin. I don't see it. But once he go into the mid to late rounds, I'm curious to see how his cardio is. Is it certain things that Anthony Joshua allowed Derrick James to push him through than he didn't allow any other trainer? Because it can be the fighter too now. The fighter can be stubborn enough to say, I don't want all this training. I don't want to do all this running. I don't need any of that. I don't like running. Now, I'll sit my ass on a bike. I'll jump rope. I'll do all that. But I'm a heavyweight. Why do I have to do all this running? Why I got to hit the pavement? That's where I'm at with Anthony Joshua. So maybe there's something new with this guy. Y'all tell me. You know what I'm saying? Do you think it was a good fit for him over there at Derrick James in Texas? Do you believe that's going to be the training regime that he needs to come back in here in April and push the pace? You know what I'm saying? To basically have a better performance than Dillian White did with Jermaine Franklin. Because this time Jermaine Franklin should have a pretty decent training camp. He himself should be in better shape. I don't look at Jermaine Franklin as being a bum, but let's be serious. Anthony Joshua is much higher tier than Jermaine Franklin. He has a resume, bro. Just as I said that Anthony Joshua has always been overrated to me. He has some names on his resume, y'all. Real talk. He has some names on his resume, and you can't take shit away. You know what I'm saying? From Dillian White, the Charles Martin, Tuckham, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and we Oleksandr Usyk twice, Kubrat Pulev. He has some names on his resume now. But you know, out of those two fights with Oleksandr Usyk, he in the red. One he went to a unanimous decision, the other one a split decision, lost. Both losses. Now he has Jermaine Franklin's 21-1. And that's taking place April 1st. In the O2 Arena. What I did. I ain't trying to hate on it. I'm just saying I heard that the tickets are not selling the way you think they're gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what we got going on right now, but they saying the tickets ain't selling the way you think they are. So we'll see how that shit goes. But as far as Chael Sonnen, I'm gonna keep a close eye on this. And you already know what it is. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be more people speaking about it. This is I wanted to get to an article speaking about Joshua, right? This some boxing news. 24. Of course, Derrick James. This is what Derrick James said about Joshua. He's been absolutely beasted. AJ posted a photo on Instagram chopping down a tree, saying back to the basics. That fight is fast approaching April 1st. We don't have to wait too long for AJ versus Jermaine. And we don't have to wait too long. But, you know, you're using tools. You know what I'm saying? You're using tools to do some axe work, which is great. Just make sure you know how to control that, because I don't want you pulling out of the fight because you were swinging it and you forgot. And you know what happens after that. It goes on to say a few people tweeted this about it not being sold out as of yet. I guess that's a reflection on where he is right now. Back-to-back defeats against Oleksandr Usyk. But maybe I wanted. It goes on to say, I always thought that AJ was the type of fighter that could fight me and sell out Wembley. He has that kind of pull, and maybe he doesn't have that yet, which is why this fight is so important. He got to look explosive. He got to look destructive. And let's see what happens. I do think it'll be a sellout by the time it rolls around. But unlike you guys, I am surprised that all the tickets haven't sold. This is a guy that does stadiums, and he's now coming back to an arena. Okay, you know, they always want to talk about Wembley. Like I always tell people, when I was back there doing all these debates about Wilder, freaking Joshua, they always used to try to lie and say he's selling out Wembley. Okay, that was when he fought Vladimir. You know, that dude called Matt Legg, he didn't sell out Wembley when he fought Matt Legg. Stop it. It goes on to say, I've been fortunate to see AJ in camp and see him in that setup. I wonder if he means back to the basics about how sometimes boxers like to overcomplicate things. I think maybe AJ has gone too far on the technical and scientific side of things. There are so many different elements that maybe you don't need to it. So maybe it's a case of peeling away things and doing what he's done when he first got into the sport. Don't get me wrong, AJ has taken it to another level in terms of strength and conditioning and the science stuff, the science side of stuff. Maybe it's a case of getting rid of those things and going back to the basics, said Olapido. So when you talk about the science can be your training, the science, pretty much a certain routine that you have early on that benefits you, make you feel good while you're training, be able to push you to different levels. The science is just like an open term that can pretty much match up to a lot of variables, bro. A lot of variables. So when somebody say back to the basics, what was basic for Anthony Joshua? Lifting weights back then? What was the basics? Because he ran out of cardio when he hit the scene with Vladimir Klitschko. So the basics that you had fighting in Wembley for those titles, because you didn't need no basics to fight Charles Martin. Let's get that straight. You didn't need any basics. But when you went in there against Vladimir and you was getting your ass beat a little bit, like, what was the basics, bro? What was the basics? What were you doing? Basic, fundamental, 1, 2, robot style training, not putting enough effort into it. I'm saying, worried about bicep curls and trap workouts. You know what I'm saying? Back workouts, squats. What was the basics? Because I always considered Joshua to be a basic fighter. Seriously. And it started to show when he ran into a fighter like Andy Ruiz, man. That's the way I feel about it. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but I will keep you posted on this LeBron James, Chael Sonnen potential social media clash. I've been checking LeBron Twitter to see if he even responded on it, but I don't know, man. This will bring basketball to a whole, like, dude. If LeBron was to go down for this shit, oh my God, it'll be a disaster, bro. It'll forever change NBA, because we're talking about a guy who just broke the all-time scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude has some unbelievable records to his NBA career. Unbelievable records. So, if they was to really take action on any of this, and LeBron came back guilty of it, that doesn't mean his career's over. I'm just curious to know what action they would take. Because in basketball, they're not going to, let's just say Bill Russell popped. They're not going to take all his freaking championships away when they playing team ball like they do track. Track would strip everybody of a medal if they won it. And that's a championship. That's a championship. In the Olympics, if one person on your damn team pop, then everybody get their medal stripped. Everybody. I don't think that would be the case if it came to somebody like, Bill Russell, anybody who has multiple championships, and they pop dirty, and they just say, oh, we taking all your damn rings. Not only that, everybody who played on that team, we're going to take their ring too. That'd be fucked up. That'd be fucked up for real. But I'll be back on a little later. Appreciate everyone who pulled up. Thank you. Salute. Hit the like button on your way out. And we'll do it again. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man. Peace.